What's going on, everybody? This is the Objective Jerk, and I'm said jerk. It has been more than a minute, man. It's been a while, but um, I used up all my space for podcasting because you pay for certain plans. For those that don't know, you pay for you know so many minutes or time or whatever, so much data that the platform will hold. And the more you pay, the more you get, and you know how it works. I don't gotta explain it to you. But anyway, I'm not on like the free plan, but I'm not on like a high end one, I guess you would say. There's no need for it. I rarely go over my time limit, so the plan I have now is actually, it works for me pretty good. So, and I reached that kind of early, so have not I have not recorded anything in a while because I couldn't. And I just got kind of a little irritated. We have our maid, I guess you would call her. She comes every once in a while, but she just walked by my window, spooked me a little bit, and I hear her making noise in the back, and then my dogs. It's always like as soon as I start recording, it seems like. Anyway, I said I was never going to drink coffee again, but I can't help it. Anyway, so I don't want to talk about politics. I mean, as far as I can tell, everything looks to be going in a good way. But I thought that last time too, so who knows. But anyway, again, I don't want to talk about politics. I wanted to talk more about my spiritual journey. And it has been exactly that. It has been a journey, man. Well, let's see, okay. People that have listened, followed me a little bit, they kind of know. I got some videos of me going through my search for God and the type of religion and everything like that. So whatever. Okay, I'm just going to say it. I'm trying to whatever, who cares? Okay, so I'm not going to go to like when I was a kid growing up. I'm just going to go to my, with the last couple of years. So I began searching for God through whichever way that is, so I researched the different religions and all that stuff. It started off as, I was kind of the what do you call it? The fantastical side of, Christianity or religion. The what is it called? Miracles. There. So the miracles, I always kind of felt like, I don't know, it always seemed like a little hokey to me, So I immediately started looking at religions that didn't see Jesus as the Son of God. You know what I mean? Because I've always been very critical of like the evangelists that, I don't know, just some of the stuff that goes on. Like before I was even really researching God, or even I've always kind of felt there was a God, but I didn't really think too much into it. You know what I mean? I was always, there's probably a God, but he's like a watchmaker, that analogy where he built the watch and he wound it up and now he just lets it do its thing. But there's a lot of the different denominations and just various cults and all that stuff that just kind of bothered me, And I have experience with like Mormons and all that kind of stuff I've talked about before, but I'm not going to get into that right now because again, that's from, my childhood. But it's always kind of been there in the back of my mind. I've always kind of felt it. But so like I said, I never was into like the whole mystical God, I forgot the word again. I said it earlier. What's the word I was just having trouble remembering, and I said it? Miracle. Man, it's a miracle I thought of it. So that kind of stuff, I was like, I kind of want to. I'm into history, so I kind of like I want to do the factual side and the historical side and this and that, and so I kind of was like, which ones don't really follow Jesus? You know what I mean? And it was like, Judaism and Islam, basically. Islam, they do, Jesus is in, the Muslim culture and Islam, but he's a prophet, but he's not the son of, God and all that stuff. So this is turning out to be way longer than anyway, so I started looking at Islam for a little while. Didn't work. It wasn't working for me. And then, so basically it was like, okay, I'm going to pray. They both involve praying. So I was like, I'm going to pray. I'm going to try and pray to both God or Allah and Jesus as well. So like I kind of prayed in like the Salah, the Muslim way, and I prayed with, oh, you know what? I just kind of realized something. And I grabbed my wife's rosaries, and I prayed to Jesus, trying to like, hey, give me something, give me a little direction here. And I felt, which I feel was, the Holy Spirit. When I prayed to Jesus and everything, I was overcome with emotion, and it felt, like I felt good, and it just, I guess everybody has their own whatever, but that's, so I was like, okay, Christian, Jesus, there we go. So then I started on that. So I've talked about that before, and I've gotten some videos where I've talked about, you got Israel and Palestine and stuff, and it's like, just because I was calling myself Christian, but I'm still, I'm still a journeyman. No, not a journeyman. What is it called? Anyway, I'm still learning, and I still am, really. Everybody is, but I think I might actually make a long video that's scripted and has visuals and everything of my journey once I'm baptized. I think I'm going to do that. But anyway, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. So then I just kind of was like, I'm going to read the Bible. I'm going to pray just how I pray, just my own prayer. I'm going to, no tradition, no, uniformity or anything like that. Just do my own thing. So I've been doing that. And I'm in the Gospels now, and I'm reading it finally. Like, I'd go through periods where I'd read it pretty religiously, no pun intended, and then sometimes I wouldn't read it for a few weeks or even a month or something, I was still praying at least every night, but, it was just mainly, oh yeah, that's right, okay, and I'd say a quick whatever. It's really kind of not genuine, I don't think, and I just I didn't feel right, so I'd continue to just read, the Bible, or just read information online, watch videos online, get different perspectives, try and just, do a lot of soul searching and everything. And so that's why I haven't really said a whole lot on my podcast regarding it, because I'm still working on it, I guess. And I said some things about Israel and Palestine that I'm sure a lot of people were like, what the crap? This guy's an idiot. Which, I wouldn't say an idiot, but definitely ignorant, to the fact. Because I was like, I was just saying, that's the whole point of it, I guess, is for me to just kind of share what my opinion and thoughts are at this time. I don't know everything, and I haven't researched it. It's just kind of, the initial thoughts about things. But, when you have your uneducated opinion about stuff, it's generally wrong, But I didn't want to. I said what I said, but I didn't want to say too much because and I haven't got to that point yet in the Bible, but I have through researching and doing other stuff that to not support Israel as a Christian is kind of it's wrong in a sense, but I'm not going to get too much into that because I'm still working on it. But yeah, so I have learned that much. So the things I said about being a Christian, do I need to support Israel or not? And I said God, what did I say? I said something about God gave them their land and this and that, and they did what they did, and I don't know, who knows? I'd have to watch it again, or listen to it again. So my opinions have changed from that, but I don't want to give them yet because I want to finish the Bible, and I'm still researching. I'm still trying to learn as much as I can. So anyway, so for the past, so I started really kind of probably about 2 years ago, roughly, is when I really was like, okay, I need to find God. And then it was, Islam for a while, and then I had my prayer, and okay, Jesus and Christianity is the way. And then I thought once I made that decision that it was going to be gravy, but it's not, man. There's so much, it's like oh man, it's just, I can't even, I mean, people that know, but there's just so much, I don't know, there's lots of infighting just in the Christian community. So it's not just, Christianity and Islam or Jews or whatever. It's like inside Christianity itself, there's like people, Protestants hate Catholics and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, it's just kind of crazy, which, I mean, I kind of knew that stuff, but not to the degree that it is and how I know now. But so I'm reading my Bible, doing my little whatever prayer, and I'm not progressing. I've kind of plateaued, and I'm noticing that. So I'm like, okay. So I kind of look, and then so I start looking at Orthodox, right? I think I talked about it. I might have talked about it in another podcast. But, I was watching some Orthodox priests and some stuff like that, and I was liking what they were saying, So I started looking at it but it's basically, for those that don't know, it's basically like Catholicism. It's Catholic, just, the schism that you hear about. That's, basically, Orthodox kind of separated from Catholicism or whatever because of the Pope and some other little stuff, and they're like, oh no, it was actually, Catholics were the ones that moved away. But it's like, but the, back in the day, if you were Christian, that was, Catholic. There was no Orthodox and Catholic and Presbyterian and Protestant and all this stuff. If you're a Christian, you're a Christian. That was it. And when you made that, when you were a Christian, it was Catholic. Does that make sense? But so, they had, the Christian community had the Pope for a long time. I don't know, I'm not good with numbers, but for a long time. So it wasn't like at that moment that they were like, hey, we're going to have the Pope. And they're like, what? We shouldn't have a Pope. And then they split, and that was a schism. So it was kind of more to it. But anyway, I'm not trying to educate nobody. There's far more better individuals, smarter, educated individuals and channels that talk about this stuff. So, I mean, if anything I'm saying, maybe I should have some references, but there's so much stuff out there. So don't take my word for it necessarily. I'm just trying to explain the way my brain went the way I went. That sound like Kamala Harris. But so I was looking at Orthodox because, it just kind of seemed kind of right. And I was never really into the Pope either, right? Like I was like, I don't know. It's like a Jesus. They're trying to have somebody, an earthly Jesus kind of, and I don't know. Like it never really clicked for me. You know what I mean? So, but when I was looking at Orthodox, it was kind of difficult because there's no, like, the closest Orthodox church for me here in the Philippines is Manila, which is 8 hours away. I have a massive Catholic church that I've been to, that my wife went to as a kid and all this kind of stuff. It's just kind of weird. Like it's almost like the devil was always there and was always steering my brain away from the true Christianity, which is Catholic. That's the closest. I mean, someone argued Orthodox is closer or whatever, but I mean, Orthodox is Catholic, just a little more traditional, minus the Pope. So, like, there's a lot of things about Orthodox I like. Anyway, so, Peter was the first Pope, and if you read, finally it just all kind of clicked. And then when I was telling my story earlier, when I was talking about Islam, and I prayed to Allah, and I prayed with the rosary, and I got an answer. The rosary. I mean, I didn't do the right prayer, but I was praying with the rosary in my hand, and that's when I felt the Holy Spirit and Jesus and everything. But it wasn't like, okay, so it's Jesus, not Catholic. You know what I mean? Like there was always and then it's like, okay, the Pope. Like I was always looking for a way to not be Catholic, like subconsciously, like the devil on my shoulder. No. And once I and then I just thought about that one with the rosary when I was talking earlier. It kind of clicked too. But it's, when you look at that and you think about all the attacks on the Catholic, Catholicism and everything, as opposed to Protestant and all that kind of stuff, it's, that's why, because it's the true. And I said that before, but I wasn't talking about Catholicism necessarily, but so I finally made the realization that I want to be the truest form of Christianity that I can. And that's being a Catholic, So I've only went the last 2 Sundays. I've went to Mass. I'm talking to the current priest that's, I guess they're assigned, the parishes change or whatever. So I'm still learning everything. So, but he's going to I'm going to take the classes for, what's it called? Anyway, so I can, take the Eucharist and then get baptized and take communion and all that kind of stuff and be officially a Catholic, So that's what I'm doing right now. So I haven't started the classes yet. I'm waiting. But so that's where I'm at right now. So I'm still reading my Bible. I bought a Catholic Bible a while ago. So I've been reading the books that are in the Catholic Bible that are not in traditional Bibles. And then I'll still continue to read my New King James Version study Bible, And then I have some other books just about the history and just more of, information books, not the Bible necessarily, coming and everything. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, I guess. Like I said, the only authority I am of anything is just myself. I can share my experiences and the opinions on the limited education that I have, but I'm working on it. Trying to learn as much as I can and get the most objective view on the whole thing. You know what I mean?
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Thanks again for listening to The Objective Jerk. I greatly appreciate it. If you could like, subscribe, comment on wherever you're finding this, and you can also email me at theobjectivejerk@gmail.com. So hope you're enjoying it, and please continue on with the episode. I don't know. So it's like, so that's where I'm at. And the thing is too, is I felt great. I've been feeling so much better mentally. And I've been trying to pray how, Catholics pray, learning the prayers and everything. We have a rosary, but it's like this massive, like decorative rosary that I bought my wife. I think I bought it in Kuwait, if I'm not mistaken, when I was coming back from Iraq. It's a nice, it's wood but it's like really, it's not for you to pray with. I mean, I did, earlier in the story, but it's decorative. And, I do have another rosary that's like a cheaper one, but it seems like it's not correct. So it's like, because you have to pray, you have the certain prayers. You start at the cross, the crucifix, and then move up into the Hail Marys and stuff like that. And so there's certain beads or knots or whatever. And the only one that I have is not anatomically correct. So I got to get a better one before I can start learning that. But I'm also trying not to just overwhelm myself. I'm trying to just, do the standard prayers, do a morning prayer, an evening prayer, and the sign of the cross, and I have my little prayer corner thing, and trying to just fill my YouTube more with that, and not just like theology stuff, but just historical things regarding, Christianity and everything. Because I'm more into history and stuff like that. So I love history, but I suck with dates. Every time I'm reading the Bible or something, and it gives you a date, it's like I really have to sit there and, okay, so BC, it's 500. So you know what I mean? Like it doesn't click for me. I've always kind of said like I'm dyslexic with numbers. Like I have to really think when it comes to numbers. It's annoying. But yeah, so I don't know. That's all. I just kind of wanted to share that. If anybody's really interested in, because I've seen some really good spiritual journeys from individuals, and it was helpful for me. So I'm thinking like, maybe I should do the same thing. Maybe somebody could watch, even if it's just one person that was to watch my story, my journey to come to the conclusion that I have in my faith. Like I feel weird even saying that. Like it's still, I've been reading the Bible for a year now, and I consider myself Christian, but it's like, I don't know. I think maybe once I get baptized, even though I was baptized Mormon, I don't know. I don't know. It's a weird thing, but I'm hoping that, I can share my story and maybe it'll inspire someone. So whether, I don't know, I mean, really, if people are like, no, I don't want to hear your story, I'm still going to do it. But I'm going to write out the script, and it's going to be, you know, written out and visuals and everything. So it's not just me blabbing, oh, wait, I forgot to say blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm going to actually do some work on it. So, you know, I'm not going to turn my podcast into like a Christian podcast or anything. Because there's so many out there that are so much better. But I mean, it's, you know, it's still going to be me just talking, whatever. I mean, it may involve a lot more in Christianity, but like I've wanted to talk about it in other podcasts, and I do talk about it briefly. Like I remember I would say something about like, oh, I'm almost done with the Old Testament and this and that. But I didn't really, you know, I wasn't preaching at all. Just because I'm still, you know, it's kind of like, you know, speech class, right? I remember taking my first, or I remember doing like little speeches in high school, you know, for a class, and just really being underprepared, really, or nervous, because everybody's afraid of public speaking, right? But I learned, though, being in the Army, like that's part of moving up to become an NCO and everything, is you got to learn how to explain, train, and teach, you know, soldiers and stuff like that. So what I learned is I enjoy actually teaching and training and things like that. And I don't mind getting on a soapbox and you know, speaking in front of people when I know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I know my experiences, I can share my experiences, but as far as, you know, what I think is right and wrong, I mean, yeah, everybody has their opinion, and that's basically what it is, but I just don't have the education to back a lot of it up. So that's why I haven't really been saying too much about it, you know. Once after, you know, I've been going to mass, I've been baptized and everything, and I've got a little bit more under my belt, you know, I might get a little bit more open to, I guess, preaching or whatever like that, you know. But if I do, I'll probably just do a different channel, but I don't think I will. But anyway, if there's a lot of YouTube channels and podcasts out there. It's insane. If you've come across mine, then you've you know, seen, or you know what I'm talking about. But there's a YouTube channel though that I really like, and this guy, it's called, if you YouTube, I miss Christendom. I miss Christendom. So it's at I miss Christendom 5293. So I like this channel, this guy a lot, because I feel like my stories are somewhat similar to his, or my journey anyway, but he grew up, dang it, did he grow up Catholic? Or he grew up Catholic, or he went to Catholic school, but he didn't really care much for it, or didn't give himself to it entirely. And then when he was older, he started going to like a Protestant church, I think, and then he went back to Catholic, and his like mother-in-law is Protestant, and she would always, like go at him, attack him, like, why did this, blah, blah, blah. And he didn't know the answers. And so he started educating himself. And so this is, this guy is older than me. He has to be, from what I can tell. But, it's 20 something years of doing his own research and having debates with people and this and that. And he's come, to his conclusions and his opinions. But that's, I've always kind of liked individuals that are experienced as opposed to educated. You know what I mean? Experience as opposed to book smart. Yeah, you can know some dates and times and this and that, but if you can't really incorporate it in the real life, it's kind of, it doesn't hold a whole lot of water, So this guy has some experience and then has, these individuals that would question him, his mother-in-law or whatever. So then he would take it upon himself to research it through the Bible or through whatever, and then he would come back and have answers and this and that. But he, so he's Catholic, and I just like the way he presents it, and I don't know, it just connects to me. So I enjoy his channel. So look him up, give it a try. He's got some interesting topics, I think. They're not like super long and they're not real short. That's the other thing too I found is I don't like 2-minute videos, but I don't like 2 hours either, like a nice 15-minute video around there is good. But I miss Christendom. So check it out. But that's it. I've been talking for a half hour now. So I will see you guys next time. All right. Thanks and God bless. All right. Bye. You just put yourself through another episode of The Objective Jerk. Thanks again for hanging out with me. Please email me at theobjectivejerk@gmail.com. Like, subscribe, comment, wherever you find this, follow. It all helps. But thanks again, and I'll see you next time.